like, shit, fuck, my
No,
bad.
I'm just saying it's bad to have, like, prep stuff mid-shot.
Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Disqualified for a special spooky episode because we're covering Halloween Havoc. It is named after my favorite holiday. It's a WCW pay-per-view. They brought it over to NXT for a yearly tradition. This one caught us off guard because the last one was a weekly PLE. So.
Yeah, a lot of other content creators thought this was going to be a Tuesday PLE, but nope, surprise, it's a Sunday one.
Yeah.
But we are kind of on a bit of a time crunch, so without further ado, let us discuss Halloween Havoc. Starting with, is this match of the night?
Yes, it's match of the night.
Probably, actually.
All right, this might be match of the night. It is Oba Femi versus Tony D'Angelo, the North American champion, for the North American Championship in a table, ladders, and scares match.
Yeah. Special Halloween-themed TLC match, but a little different from usual TLCs, as Tony special requested to Ava for this match to be by pinfall.
Yes, it was a really weird request, but it really played into the ending.
Yes.
But let's just get started in this match.
Yes, so Oba classically struts to his entrance. Just the aura on this man. As soon as the match ended, we're like, we hope he's in the Rumble, because we want to see this man toss around some homies.
I don't want to see him in the Rumble because he's going to take out some of my favorite guys, I bet.
Who are some of your favorite guys that are going to be in there, you think?
Well, I don't know, but I know I'm going to have some favorite guys in there. You know, Triple H, you give me a call.
Anyways, and
Don't worry, I got Sean on the line, so.
And Tony also walking out alone because the previous Tuesday, his family did get taken out by Oba.
Got destroyed.
I know that spot was insane. Just how Oba chucked one into the announce table and then the other into the ladder. I was like, daggum!
Bro really pulled a 5-2 there. He's just too strong.
Yeah,
Numbers don't mean crap.
But the look on Tony's face made it known that Oba made it personal.
Yeah, man. I can't get over the powerbomb through the ladder to Luca the Tuesday before. That man got absolutely destroyed.
But how this match also started also played into the Oba made it personal for Tony, because the announcer was going to announce the match style, that it was for a championship, and Tony was just like, we know why we're here, and just decks Oba.
Standing on business.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to see a lot of these young men standing on business lately.
And that's what this whole match was.
Yep.
Both of these men standing on business.
Yep. These two people want to be the superstar head honcho of NXT, the ruler versus the Don, and the Don was like, F this.
Yeah, it was pretty intense bout, I'd say.
Yes.
It kind of reminded me a bit of the Drew McIntyre CM Punk Bad Blood match. Just like it wasn't as like
How much
good
Yeah.
as it was, but like the level of intensity that was there.
Yeah,
you could tell like they meant to hurt each other.
The amount of weaponry used in this match was insane. Like, no, there was one spot where Oba was trying to set up Tony to go through the table, but Tony reversed it and just shoulder bumped Oba through the table, and that table exploded.
No, that was Oba shoving Tony.
Oh, yeah, no. I had it backwards, but that table exploded. I was like, that's no longer a table. That's a pile of wood.
It was like Crash Bandicoot breaking boxes.
Also, in the beginning of the match, we saw Tony tackle Oba through the barricade. And I was like, that's the opening spot?
Yep.
That's the opening big spot. I knew how.
Zach, as always, behind the camera commented like they handicapped him with a finisher bar each.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw it too, because Oba, as soon as he was able to breathe, delivered. He started tossing around Tony. He got out kendo sticks. He got out tables. He got out ladders.
He was whooping his ass. Like legit. Like the first quarter of the match was pretty much all Oba.
Yeah, Oba was definitely pounding his cheeks quite some time.
Oh,
Yeah, why did I? Oh, no.
hey, yo!
I'm sorry.
All right. So he was getting his ass beat.
He was getting his ass
But
beat.
then it turned into a bit of an equal bout, basically. Like, both were using weaponry pretty well. The whole table exploding spot was like dadgum. But
I didn't think tables could do that though.
Oh,
At least explode like that.
bro,
no.
that table exploded.
Like I think a kid got hit in the crowd, and you could see. No, that would suck.
Like the amount of shards from the center of the table, like, you could tell like there was still a decently clean break into thirds, but the middle third was no longer there.
Yeah, dude.
It was sawdust.
Well, it was in bro's back.
Oh yeah.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if he got
And then
stabbed up in
we
it.
get a little bit of a tussle on the outside. Then out of nowhere, we just see Oba leave frame and a big boot someone. And then we see who it was, and it was Channing Stacks Tatum.
Yep.
Because we just see this man's knee brace come flying into frame, and I said,
Yeah.
damn.
But hey, the family apparently is recovered enough to try to help out because it's a no DQ match. But
Yeah, I don't think it was try. They worked their little hearts out.
yes, but I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna recover from this because Oba does Oba throw a mother effer things.
Oba like slams Luca onto the outside area.
The pavement.
Yeah. And then he picks up Channing and just chalks him against the ring post and literally sits him down.
Yes.
And then he falls, and I'm like,
the man's hurt frame was literally him sitting down after it.
Yeah, it's like when you slide down the stairs and you don't have like something to brace yourself. It's just your ass. It's just, that's what I imagine.
It looks like
felt
he got hit in like a stun animation. He was like, ugh.
Yes, no, but
And then they were promptly out for the next 5 minutes.
yep, while Tony was zip tied to the opposite ring post, seeing the carnage, and Oba sees, why do I keep forgetting her name?
There's a lady
Yeah.
ringside.
There is a female member of Tony's family, not forgetting her name right now, apologies. But Oba
We are
was
bad
pretty
with
much just stalking her.
Yes, he like had, it was like classic like for a decent example, lion gazelle, just, and she pulled out a crowbar too, being like trying to look all threatening, and Oba's just,
He said, "No, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. And
You
then
don't want to do that."
Tony breaks free. He breaks the zip ties free, which Kevin pointed out. He has wrist tape, but that shit has to hurt.
yes, no, just because it was only one arm too, he couldn't do the classic escape from zip tie cuffs up, and he had to brute force it.
But then I pulled out that Mark Henry literally ripped the chain off of a door. And Kevin said, okay.
Yeah, it's like, could have been worse.
Well, Trevor could do it too.
It's impressive,
Yes.
but not as impressive. But anyways, props to Tony, because I couldn't do that shit.
No.
I'd cry. I'd
Yeah,
be like, no.
Yeah, like there was definitely some cushioning from the tape, but still, it's like that had to sting after a little
I
bit.
don't think it was that bad because they could definitely have propped it up, you know, like
Yeah.
made it
Yeah.
easier. Like
The camera was far enough where they could have propped up like a pair of scissors for the spot, but
well,
like,
no, you just have it to like where the.
no, once zip ties are teethed in, they're teethed in.
What if they weren't even actual zip ties though?
That's some good acting for how tight they looked then.
Nah, because I heard them bitches zip.
Yeah,
Oh.
You can test it after the shot.
No.
I'd rather not.
Unless we're doing it with Gordon.
Hey, maybe punishment for Crown Jewel.
What the F?
Yeah?
What, you dunk me in some water, see if I can escape?
Nah,
Yeah!
but Tony escapes, and then while Oba's looking for something to hit with the crowbar, out of nowhere, from the mid rope, this man's aim is impeccable. Suicide dive spear.
Dude,
Looking
through
like
that
Caleb's
ladder.
2K character.
Oh yeah, through a ladder too. I forgot about that part.
Oh my god, dude. This match. Yeah. It's match of the night.
Yeah, no. And
Yeah.
then
Match of the night.
yeah, and then Tony gathering some win with the support of his family. Choke slams Oba through a table. 1, 2, 3, and still.
Oh, he had to be beaten up by 4 people, though.
Yes. It's like a lot of people. Our initial thoughts when they announced this was by pinfall or submission were like, how do you keep Oba looking strong then? This is how. It took 4 people to take him down.
And now, from what? There's some NXT title picture stuff that we're going to get over
Yeah.
at the end, but for right now, I think Oba is Royal Rumble and then NXT title picture.
Yeah. I like Leo Oba's in the Rumble as sort of the big man, clear the ring spot, maybe.
I just want to see him, Braun, and Bronson.
Unless we see Brock Lesnar make a
Collide.
return.
No.
I'd be so happy.
I mean, whoa. I mean, it would be crazy.
Yeah, it would. I mean, the discourse online with Lesnar's returning or no, it's like execs of WWE have said we're just waiting for his word, but the whole controversy stuff is like, how would that look in some people's eyes? I mean, there are still people who are fans of Lesnar's style in the ring. It does feel like we're missing that powerhouseness a little bit.
No. And here's where I'll cut you off.
I think
with
we
that.
have many in power.
We have many. We
Yeah.
have Gunther, Bronson Reed, Oba Femi. We have
Don't forget the man himself, Spear Lord, Roman Reigns.
yeah,
He's
Roman
he's for
Reigns.
sure a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu.
Yeah. I guess
Kevin Ju-
specifically for like Rumble picture, it is a little weird because Gunther not going to be in the Rumble this year
Oh.
because he has the title.
Also Drew.
Drew,
Drew's in
true.
there.
Yeah,
One of the best guys.
yeah.
in there.
It's like
We had
Because
Bobby Lashley, but god damn it, Triple H, you didn't book him.
yeah. Just Rumble having 30 people in it, don't know who's returning, who's going to be in it. It's like lenses are a little skewed, I guess.
You can kind of guess just from who's on TV.
Yeah.
I mean, Cena's gonna be in there, but
Yeah.
this is a different topic. We're going
Different-
on a tangent.
Yeah, different
This
topic.
match, amazing.
Yeah.
S. Rank.
I'll give it an A.
A plus. I don't think it was S level quite because of some finagling with the camera angles and sort of like how weapons were kind of used. Because like when I heard TLC, I thought climb ladder, but then they announced it was pinfall. It added to the story a little bit, but it's just amazing match. Was expecting a little more.
I think they did more than enough to gain the S.
Oh yeah,
in my
no.
opinion.
For it basically being a hardcore pinfall match, it's like they did a lot, but walking in thinking it was going to be someone having to climb a ladder lowered some stuff a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But we'll move on to our next match, which was the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade,
Versus
Julia and Stephanie Vacker. This match was also pretty fucking
Yeah.
amazing.
You mentioned it when the match was starting, how this was basically a trial for Cord to see if she can perform. She performed quite well, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, some people are clipping and slow-moing the spot where she just took a full knee from Julia to the face, and it's like, and some people are commenting like, mate, you could not pay me enough to take a full knee to the face, unguarded.
For the love of the game.
For the love of the game.
For the
No,
love of the
it's for the
game.
love of the freaking story.
Yeah, no.
You're the legend.
I'd do it.
We know you're crazy enough, Zach.
I let them do some other things to me.
Oh yeah, Zach discovered one of Stephanie's finishers for the first, or no, go.
Whoa!
Okay, it's not her finisher, it's one of her signature moves.
Signatures, yeah.
You know what we're talking about. This is
Oh,
an unhinged episode for you.
Dude, what
Yeah.
the heck is that? That is a crazy signature.
Yeah,
That's crazy as
Yeah.
heck because booty cheeks clench. Well, not booty cheeks, like head between the thighs. Boom. Slam, 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 slam.
Dribbling the head like a basketball.
Yep.
Yeah, it was definitely very spooky.
Can I also just comment before we get too deep? The costume design, this entire PLE.
No, I liked everything about it. Like the
Yeah.
set, the costume, just the whole appeal of it was very thematic. It was awesome.
Yeah, so Oba and Tony just dressed normal.
Yes.
There was nothing fancy about them. Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez were dressed like the twins in The Shining.
Yep.
I don't know what Julia.
Julia, I think, was normal gear, but Stephanie actually had a half
Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah, that was cool.
page. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we get to the main event, we'll mention an amazing costuming and entrance and sort of a pun from that main event.
Oh my god, that was such a good costume.
Yeah.
But just getting back into the match, the action stayed consistent throughout.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any low points in this match. They all performed well.
They both got to show off their styles. They both did some striking. They both tried out some submissions. Looking back at the match, one thing I was surprised with though is Roxanne never got to do a pop rocks. Actually, it's like I did keep them guessing. Like we've seen matches where stars aren't able to do a certain finisher, but it's like that's still shocking.
I just feel like there's a lot going on in the ring.
There is a lot. It
Yeah.
requires a lot to not be happening. I think it's good though because I like John Cena a lot, but the critique of him, 5 moves of doom. I like to see people get into their bag
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know Stephanie could do her fucking twirly dirt.
Oh yeah, no, that
Yeah, that was the first time I actually seen her wrestle, and I'm very impressed with the way
Yeah,
she's
no.
able to move her body.
This was, I think, the 3rd match I've seen of her fully. I've seen clips of her, but she is insane.
yeah, no. Like I was up, is she going? Because with how she was saying, I was like, is she going for a moonsault? Is she going for it? No, she's spinning.
I thought she was going to do a Phoenix Splash,
Yeah.
but I think, if I'm recalling correctly, AJ Styles used to do that, and it was called the spinal tap.
Possibly.
The spinal tap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That sounds dope.
yeah. But anyways, the person who got pinned also setting up future stories in NXT, as Roxanne was the one who ate the
That's
pin.
my girl, bro. Why? I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
And then, after the match,
Oh yeah.
Zarya appears,
Yup.
who was formerly known as Delta, coming over from the Australian circuit.
Yeah. She's in the balcony though, but this will not be the last time we see her this PLE.
Popping up like a spooky ghost.
Yes. But I feel like Roxanne,
Why? I don't know. I could have lived without seeing it.
It was to show that she is always watching.
yeah.
the division. That
Yeah.
she has an eye on the division.
Yeah.
Because, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, NXT has the deepest women's division in North American wrestling.
Because they actually have a women's mid card and they're actually booking it well, while the main roster, we still waiting on that.
Mm-hmm.
And even the world titles have been iffy this past season.
The world titles have been iffy. Just period. Trust me, I like Rhea. Her reign was iffy.
Yeah.
But
Liv is good.
Yes.
But-
But I feel like Roxanne taking the pin also sort of plays into her not being able to do a Bob Rox's match. It's like she didn't pull out her entire bag this match either. It's like, and probably neither did the other team either.
mm-hmm.
So it's like it's keeping people guessing of like, oh, so because now we gotta see, does Julia get the rematch? Is Stephanie gonna get a shot? Is it gonna be a triple threat?
That's what I was going to ask you guys. What do you think is happening next?
The title will be lost.
And who is gaining it?
I don't know. There could be any one of those two girls.
I could see them having number one contender between Julia and Stephanie, also because it's like still dust them up, get the NXT audience. Also, you used to be in their style. I could actually see maybe a number one contendership tournament maybe as well, because you just introduced Zarya. We keep mentioning how deep this roster is. It's like, I want to be shocked.
If I'm recalling correctly, we have NXT Deadline coming up if they're doing it this year, which, in my opinion, is the best NXT stipulation they have. So if you don't know what it is, it's 5 people in a gauntlet style match.
Mhm.
So one person comes in, or so 2 people start, they're wrestling, one person comes in. Let's say person A pins person B. They get a point, and person B goes into the penalty box.
Oh,
And they
I've
have to
seen this
sit
style
there.
of match, yeah.
They have to sit there for the penalty duration. So A and C are fighting. Now B gets back in, and now D comes in.
Yeah, I've seen this style of match.
And so that continues for the countdown. Whoever has the most pinfalls at the end wins. I think it's the best thing in NXT. Look, I didn't explain it well. You guys need to watch the match. It is so much better.
It is actually a very cool match style.
I just like one pin and you're done.
Oh no, this is very creative. So, the main way that Trick Williams got into the NXT title picture, he won a deadline match.
Mm-hmm.
He had one fall, and then I think it was like 4 other collective falls that he had to beat. So he got the 4, and then right at the end, I think he got the final one. So then he won the match.
Mm.
It was really fucking cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing some highlights of this. This match style keeps you on the edge of your seat, actually.
So I think to determine the women's number 1 contender, I think we might be seeing another deadline match.
That'd actually be cool, especially with how deep the pool is.
And if I'm guessing, it's going to be Stephanie, Julia, Zarya, unless Zarya is doing mid-card stuff, but I could see her being in this match.
Yes, we'll actually get to Zarya being in mid-card stuff when we talk about the gauntlet match.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't want to get on a super tangent, so...
But then, and some other stars, but
yeah.
I think that's going to be a good match. That women's division is bright.
I mean, NXT as a whole, because even in backstage segments in between matches, they were announcing that Javon and why can't I remember his name?
Cedric Alexander.
Cedric are challenging for the NXT tag. We'll get to this later, but but they were booking matches for Tuesday mid PLE as well.
Yeah, but let's get to this next match.
Ambulance match.
I think rate the other match.
Oh yes.
S
A.
through F.
Solid A.
I think it's an A.
It's just an A. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there was nothing too fancy, but still some of the spots they pulled out, I was like, oh, stuff.
Mm-hmm. But now we move on to, in my opinion, the low point of the pay-per-view, the ambulance match. Never been a fan of the stipulation. This was the 7th in WWE history.
It was also weird because usually they have the ambulance pulled up to ringside. They had to walk to the ramp to get into not even an ambulance car. It was a decorated hearse.
Yeah, it was just...
I mean, the car was in costume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it played into the theming.
Yeah. But I was
just...
Yeah. I was like, oh... But like when I saw they weren't pulling it up to ringside, I was like, oh, sup, a lot of this match is going to be on the ramp. It wasn't. It was still mostly in ring.
Yeah, so Ridge comes out in a spooky mask. His entrance was cool. I was confused as to why it was just a picture of his face for like a solid 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I was like, did it glitch? What happened? They're like, nope, this is his entrance. And I was like, oh, okay. And then Andre Chase comes out as Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
I'm still shocked that this man can wrestle in a whole sweater.
And not break a sweat.
I know.
Ridge was sweating.
Yeah.
And Andre Chase was just, what's up?
He's the GOAT. People just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't know what he does, but can I get some answers, please?
Yeah, but this match was, it was just all right.
Veggies.
They,
Probably.
there was a lot of weapon introduction with the stretcher.
Oh, yeah.
Which, it was funny, they pointed this out on commentary. They said, all of Rich's evil thoughts while he's lowering the stretcher. I said, oh yes, the evil thoughts of, I'm going to put him on the stretcher.
Okay, hold on. All I can say is, when he was actually on the stretcher, he looked so bad when he was on there. Bro was sitting there
You say.
looking around like a kid. He's like, hey, I'm on the stretcher.
It was just
You guys like
awkward.
me, right?
I think the high point of the match was the table spot.
Oh, yeah.
Mainly because I get to say the tradition of all NXT PLEs, not the candy. And this time it was Halloween, so yeah, fuck no, not the candy.
I know.
That's candy.
But so we get the table spot, and then they transition back up with the using of the stretcher, and they just look awkward.
Yeah.
There was a spot where Andre got slammed onto the stretcher, and we're just looking at each other like, that does not hurt.
No. Stretchers are shock absorbent.
Yeah, so it didn't hurt. So like, I mean, props to Andre for selling it.
Yeah.
Well, okay. What if it did hurt, though?
It probably still had a bit of gravitational impact, but not as much as they were portraying, probably. It's like, props to all the cells. But
Yeah, I like to think of it like being thrown on a mattress. It's not gonna hurt.
you're going to have the wind knocked out of you, though.
Yeah.
You know what? They're gonna come up to you one of these days. You're gonna be grocery shopping. They're just gonna run up to you. Wow, huh? That's what you get. This shit hurt, you know. And you're gonna be.
No, I think them running each other over with the stretcher.
That was also cool. Andre just using the stretcher as a battering ram,
Yeah.
which I thought Rich tried to do, but he didn't unlock one of the wheels. So it was awkward. He had to like...
No, it was Andre that had to do that. Realized one of the wheels was locked, and you could see Ridge was off camera at the time, but you could see Ridge like standing there waiting for the spot after he did get into shot.
Yeah, and then they were brawling near the ambulance. And the best spot was Ridge guillotining. What?
It's a spider.
No, that's a centipede.
Oh yeah.
And I'm fucking terrified of them. But it's fine because it's tiny and it's.
Yeah.
I know, not you with spiders. It was dead in the corner. He's like,
It's spooky.
it's spooky.
Spoopy.
But
Oh,
yeah, so he guillotined Andre into the car. And while we're discussing this, because we didn't do a prediction for this, and we are like, who do you think's gonna win?
We all
As we're discussing this, we missed the end of the match.
It's like we obviously thought Andre was gonna win because it's like classic face overcome the heel, evil versus good thing. Nope.
Brown's just a get it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, this is setting up, and
You're acting more scared than me, bro.
It's
Yeah.
because I'm looking at Zach and he's looking up there.
yeah, stop making faces.
If that
You've gotta
motherfucker
edit
drops
this.
near me, though, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah. Yeah, stop making faces to make these two scared. He's got to edit this.
No, it's just staying.
Yeah.
Always will.
Yeah. But
Always will.
Rich just chucks Andre in, closes the door, and we're all like, "Oh,
I'm gonna give this match a D.
C minus." I give it credit. They'd had quite a few cool spots. It was just a little bit slow to the build up.
It was a B.
It just dragged a B.
Yeah, you guys are like critiquing it too hard. Like it was an awesome match. It's just like the ending was just a little meh. Like we were enthralled with it the whole time. Like we were cheering, fucking talking about it. Like it was a good ass match.
Like, okay, yeah, in the moment it's good, but looking back on it, literally coming into this, I completely forgot that this was a match.
Well, that doesn't mean that it's gonna change the quality of the match,
It doesn't
or it shouldn't.
now because sometimes match opinions change over time.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I guess. Good choice.
Well, no, because I've went back to see some matches and I'm like, oh, this is actually better. And then I've gone back and saw some other matches. I'm like, oh, this actually isn't as good as I thought. It's just opinions change sometimes. If we would have done this yesterday, the day of watching, a C.
Yeah.
But
It
the
was
fact
good.
that I kind of forgot about it,
You forgot about this whole
It-
pay per view.
no, I didn't.
We knew this pay per view was coming. We just didn't know the day because they didn't advertise the day well.
Oh. Well, they didn't advertise the match well.
They also didn't advertise the match well.
No.
Cut the match some slack. Man, it's not OD.
But after that match, we saw the gauntlet match
Yes.
for the Women's North American Championship match. And it was Fatal Influence,
Versus.
all three members,
Yep.
versus Kalani Jordan in that gauntlet match. Fatal Influence consists of Jasmine Nix, JC Jane, and Fallon Henley. And that
Yep.
is the order of which they entered the match.
Yep.
Kalani and Jasmine set
Solid
it
bout.
off
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah, and it was a nice smash fest.
Yeah.
Like-
It was solid bout.
No, come on, don't look at me like that. You know, like
You
Kalani Jordan destroyed them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she
she
steamrolled them.
mopped the floor with the competition until the third match.
Well, even the second match, you could tell she was starting to lose wind a little bit.
Yeah, but she's still pushing strong, and even
Yeah.
when that third lady came in of the Fallon
Fallon?
influence,
Yeah.
Fallon, she was still able to just keep up and put up. Like she
Oh.
just started the match.
Yeah.
It was
All
great.
all three matches of the gauntlet were solid bouts. I will give it that. It's like first one about to draw a comparison about a speed match length, but it's like they were both throwing their weight around. It was solid. Second match, more classical PLE match a little bit. doing a classic Brad. Kalani's trying to conserve energy, however, because she knows there's one more member left, but ends up taking it. And then there was a cheap shot that just finally knocked the wind out of her. She still tried to pull out strong, but Fatal Influence also came back to ringside for the distraction.
And Fallon Henley's match was good. One comment I have to say, I mean, Gordon said it yesterday, but just...
Yeah. Okay. I mean, Trevor gave us the little spiel on it, but like, dude, you don't need to scream every second.
As a martial artist, Kiai makes sense to me.
She wasn't Kiai. She was. I was like, what? Shut
also,
the
as
fuck up.
Also, as a fight choreographer, screaming to give a cue also makes sense. It's like everything she was doing from both basically fight choreo and martial artist perspective, everything made sense. This dude's just a hater.
No, dude. That shit was so annoying. Like, it was every other time she moved. Like, she'd be running. I know that does not increase her speed, bro.
Mate.
That does not make sense.
You don't want to watch a karate tournament then, because that's all they be doing.
But this isn't karate.
It's still combat sport.
Nah, bro. She was running, screaming. I was like, shut the fuck up.
All right. But Fallon Henley picks up the win.
Yep.
For her Fatal Influence, she gets the title because she picked up the win. If any of these members would have picked up the win, they got the title, but it was Fallon.
Yep.
Isn't she like the head honcho too?
I believe so.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then, short-lived, she was talking about how this is her division. Zarya, like a spooky ghost, appears out of nowhere and 1v3s them.
Yep.
Takes them all out.
Yep. But the finisher she did for Henley, I was shocked because it was an F5.
I don't think she did it in the Australian circuit. I haven't seen any of her matches.
Yeah.
I've just gone off of highlights. I need to go watch more highlights. But I think she's the new owner of the F5.
Yeah. Try to move it away from a Lesnar move, maybe.
I just think anyone should be able to choose any move, you know?
Oh,
Or maybe
I agree.
she's a move thief. You know, I don't
Well,
know.
no, because, and here's my opinion. Too many damn people are doing the spear.
As someone who uses spear in game, there are a lot of homies that use a spear on the roster.
Yeah, so I think there should be some variable.
Well, and plus, she's in a whole complete different division.
Mm-hmm. But she wiped them out, I think, because my first thought was Julia's going to get the NXT Women's, and then Stephanie gets the North American. But now I'm thinking Zarya is getting the North American. And I don't know where this leads Stephanie and Julia, because they don't need a title, both of them. They have star written all over them.
They got star power already.
But I think one of them's getting a title over the other, and I don't know when it's happening.
Yeah. Which
Soon.
which
I'd say within
as
the
you
next
brought up, a
couple of
deadline
months.
match for number one contendership could be a good story.
I think it happens at Stand and Deliver. Roxanne loses to one of these two women.
Yeah.
Stand and deliver us disqualified.
But we move on.
Ooh, the main event. Wait, no.
Oh, wait. We got to rank this match.
Oh,
boys.
yes.
I'll give it a B.
Yeah, B.
I'll give it a B.
So some of the spots were a little quicker than I'd like, but it was a gauntlet match. You did have to keep the show moving
I just
along.
hate gauntlet matches. I just hate those ugly long matches. Unless it has a cool gimmick like a Hell in a Cell it's just
Last man standing?
I like gauntlet matches when it comes to the go-home shows of Elimination Chamber pay-per-views, where it's the 6 or 7 superstars that are going to be in there, and then they just have a free match without the chamber, basically for the audience.
Mm.
I think that works well. I mean, that's how we got Kofi Mania started. Because that was pretty much a whole story built around gauntlet matches. Kofi had to go through one.
The rest of the
Then
New
The
Day.
New Day had to go through a tag one. Then I think Kofi had to go through one more before Mania. So I think gauntlet matches can be used well. And I think it was used well because it was
Yeah.
heels doing it.
Yes.
If it was the face that chose a gauntlet match, I would have thought it's stupid. Why are you choosing to go against three people?
The stand on business.
But since it was the heels, I think it worked well. She had 8 defenses with the North American Championship for the women. Inaugural reign. Nothing to be ashamed about.
No.
Now time to see her move on to the NXT title picture. Which is just going to be so much more crowded now because she's there.
Yeah.
But it's amazing.
Again, stacked roster.
But now we move on to our main event.
Well, before we do that, we got to do a little backstage preparatory stuff as a funny spot happened while they were setting up the main event from still in the box from Tuesday.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite female superstars, Tatum Paxley, pops out of a equipment box
That she was put in on Tuesday.
out of nowhere, literally in the middle of Booker and Vic Joseph talking,
About the main event being a false count anywhere style match.
which I'll get to my thoughts on, at least the stipulation at the end. But Tatum comes out and she says, I want a match with Wendy. And then Ava's like, okay, you'll get one. She's like, no, it needs to be special. And then she spins the wheel. And we're getting a casket match on Tuesday.
Yup. But it's funny how just like Ava comes out immediately and is like, we need to get you to medical because it's like in story, she's been in that box since Tuesday.
Yeah. But I'm really excited for that match. I think this is where you have Tatum go over because at Bound for Glory, which is TNA's pay-per-view, Wendy got turned on by Rosemary.
Yep.
At the end of their match, Rosemary speared Wendy
Yeah.
and turned on her. So I don't know if they're writing off Wendy, which would be interesting because I feel like she's just got started
Yeah.
back on NXT.
I wouldn't be surprised if this sets up a gimmick change maybe because not a lot of people are a fan of this gimmick as well.
Admittedly, I'm not a fan of it, but I think it was kind of working with Rosemary. But now with Rosemary turning, I think it is a perfect time to do a gimmick change.
Yeah.
Mainly because the women's division is flooded right now, so it's perfect time for her to rebrand and not get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. There's also a decent appearance of potential heels in the roster as well. So we could see not only a gimmick change, but with the gimmick change, a face turn as well. It's like
Usually when people return, they get pops and they're treated as faces until they do a heelish action and then
Yeah.
they're seen as a heel.
yeah, but hey, who knows? Again, we reiterate, NXT is stacked.
But finally, we've teased it 3 times already. Main event.
Yep.
NXT title match in a, what is it, Trick or Treat fight?
Devil's Playground.
Devil's Playground match, sorry. Trick or Treat fight is what they do on the main roster. Devil's Playground match between Ethan Page and the NXT Men's Champion, Trick Willy Wonka.
You're Willy Wonka.
Trick Williams. He came out dressed as Willy Wonka.
Even-
Ethan Page was dressed as a pumpkin.
Trick even did the little fake cane somersault thing from the movie.
And I said, I am not a fan of My Faction in 2K games. It is their equivalent of My Team or Mutt or whatever FIFA's is. But it's like their online card game. Not a fan of it. But next year they need to put that in as a Persona card, or this year, because I need that in the game. It was such a good attire.
We should have checked to see if anyone's modded it in my creations.
It's probably in there. I'll probably check when I go home.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna wait a little bit to see if people put up good ones. But that does not have anything to do with this match. It just adds to it. This match, balls to the wall. I think this is second, third match of the night.
Yeah.
It's second match of the night.
Depending on how I feel about the women's tag match, second or third match. But it was just amazing.
Yes.
These two men were just going.
I think this is also the first time in a while where I've seen 2 announce tables destroyed in the same night.
Yeah. Because they have like them breakaway tables now so they can put them back together like you're in Lego Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat for this whole match. I felt like Krillin when he calls over Goku. I was like, Trick! Come on, Trick!
Yeah,
Come
no,
on,
because Trick
Trick.
was getting tossed around a decent portion. He got tossed on some bolts and, nuts and
He
washers.
took a beating for sure.
Yeah. He got egos edged onto steel chairs.
Onto the table. I'm thinking of the ego's edge onto the chair. And the chair just crumpled.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
And Trevor was like, a chair's not supposed to bend like that.
Nope.
I don't think anything's supposed to bend like that. That
Nope.
thing literally crumpled under him.
Yeah. This match was insane. And funny enough, I went into it thinking like, I could see either men take it. Like, I get their marketing trick, but it's like, he's over. He's decently close to main roster ready. I could definitely see them giving it back to Ethan. But it's like, Ethan also got some main roster rep going for him as well. Like, he shook hands with Adam Pearce. He's got some subtle beef with Punk because of the special ref match. It's like, I could see this going either way. And with how they were throwing each other around too, they were keeping the audience guessing.
Yeah, it was definitely a gritty match.
As good old JR would say, it was a good old fashioned slobber knocker. Like, these two men were just literally beating the brakes off each other. There was one moment where Gordon and I were kind of talking about this on the way here, where I think this is where the match could have been called kind of short, and here's why. Trick got thrown into the stairs,
Oh, yeah.
and he spit up blood.
Yeah, he was coughing up blood.
Could have been a blood capsule. Don't put it past them to do a blood capsule.
Yeah.
But I think the match was called short because they did not do enough with the falls count anywhere setting. Or at least the stipulation. When I hear falls count anywhere, I want it to end literally
Yeah.
anywhere else but
Yeah.
the ring.
To
It could
be
end out right next to the ring, but I just want it anywhere else but the ring.
To be fair, there were still pin attempts outside the ring, like after the Ego's Edge onto the announce table. Ethan immediately went for the pin.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like there were a few spots, but it did, as Caleb hinted at, it did end in rain.
Yeah, and that was disappointing, but the way it ended with Ethan going to slam Trick pretty much, well, he did. So did Trick go for a move and then he got thrown onto the steps like Drew did, or did he get thrown into the steps?
I think he got thrown on.
He got thrown, I believe it was another Ego's Edge onto the steps.
Yeah.
And that just
All of
props
us
to him.
gasped. All of us gasped. It was
Yeah, no.
crazy.
Because that move just looks so painful to take, especially like when Drew did it at the Hell in the Cell, when he landed back first onto the stairs. It's just like,
Yep.
hey,
Missed-
like the props,
Missed
man.
the Claymore onto the steps.
Yeah, and then right after Ethan goes to slam the steps, the reverberation happens because Trick moves out the way. Ethan's like,
Yeah, no, because centrifugal, because kinetic energy hurts if you're the subject of it.
Yeah, and then he doesn't do the trick shot right away. What does he do?
I forget what he does, but he does eventually go for the trick shot. I think.
Well, what happens is we see a low blow by
Oh, yeah.
Ethan Page to Trick Williams. And then Trick is looking at him. He's like, why? And then Ethan comes up with the stairs and he's walking towards them all menacingly.
Eye for an eye.
Trick
Balls
fucking
for
nut shot,
balls.
and he goes, ooh, and he drops the stairs. And then we see Trick shot 1, 2,
3, and still your face of NXT.
Trick Williams, he whooped that Trick.
Good job, Trick Williams.
But
Yeah, but after the match, Rich Holland attacks him out of nowhere. And then we see a brawl, or not a brawl, but like
A jumping?
a jumping of Trick Williams by Ethan Page and Rich Holland.
Ridge. Yeah, Ethan gives Trick over to Ridge for Ridge's brutal looking DDT, honestly. I don't know how I would feel about having my knees rested on your hips so you can just dunk me face first.
And then he went for another Ego's Edge, right?
Yep. But one of our special guest panelists,
Bubba Ray!
yeah, he was pissed off at Ridge.
Yeah, so mini storyline throughout the night. Ridge interrupted him 3 times.
Yep.
Or twice, and then the show the 3rd time. And he
Yeah.
said, if you do it again, I'm going to stop you.
Yep.
And he stops him. And I think because they're doing it at the Philadelphia arena that was home to ECW, there's going to be a tag match for Trick and Bubba versus Ethan and Ridge. But seemingly, Ridge is in the NXT title picture now, which
Yep.
is good. They have another heel in their ranks because the men's division is kind of lackluster
Yeah.
right now.
One thing I commented on though when Ridge was the attacker, and the show ended, I was like, "Where's Wes?"
Yeah, they kind of did do Wes dirty. They kind of pushed him to the wayside.
Yeah. It's like he got interrupted by Jey Uso, and all of a sudden he's just gone.
Yeah. But what do we rate this match, boys?
I'll give it an A.
A+.
A+.
Yeah. Like, it falls from S because it didn't fall count anywhere enough, really, but still, the amount of weaponry and gruesomeness in this
I
match.
think there was plenty enough action outside the ring.
There's plenty enough. I think it just should have ended outside the ring.
Yeah.
But those are our thoughts
Yes.
for Halloween Havoc. Sorry, I had a
Yeah.
brain fart. It's for Halloween Havoc. Thank you all for watching.
Yeah.
This has been Trevin,
Hey.
Gordon, Caleb, and behind the camera, Zach.
Stay tuned for Crown Jewel stuff, though.
Yes, predictions this week. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your time. Peace.